Hey everyone, Adele and April here from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Technique Tuesday. So we are in Wrapping Central right now because, well, it's almost Christmas and we will be working with some tags today. So we told you that we were going to be working with our wooden tags and we're just have to add them to our presents. So we're going to show you how we design them and yeah, ready?
Ready.
Here we go.
All right, so when you get your tags and everything, you're gonna get an SVG file. So how you wanna put that in here is you wanna go to upload, upload image, then it will be added into here and you'll get these pretty designs down here. So we're gonna do the tags with the tree, the snowflake, the joy, and the mistletoe, and then the regular one. So I'm gonna insert those into our pages, and we have also gone over this in other stuff as well. So if you are confused, either let us know or check out some of our other videos. So just because they're hard to see on the black, I'm just making them pink just so you guys can see it. So do you see how this is completely grouped together now? I can't move them separately. What I have to do is I have to left click and I have to ungroup, or you can go to the button up here that says ungroup. So I'm ungrouping those first. Then what I want to do is I want to just take my cursor, drag it over this one, making sure I'm grabbing that little circle. I'll show you why I'm doing that. Because if I hit make it right now, all of the circles and everything are on the side. Nothing is actually staying in the tag. So we have to kind of manipulate it a little. So I go here and I grab that. Then I'm going to hit slice at the bottom. It's no longer there. Let me do the next one. Now it is. Slice.
And it will become dark. When it's grayish color, it's not gonna...
Nope.
Slice
so
it.
Now I slice those two. Gonna do it again. Slice. Again. Slice. And when I do that now, do you see how if I drag these tags to the side, they now have that hole in them? And I can delete these. So those are all set and ready to go. Now with these, this is a little bit more difficult. So once again, this is a group. So I have to ungroup it. I'll do it by clicking up here now. And when I do this, and I grab the whole thing, it actually doesn't tell me to slice it. I, for some reason, cannot slice this image with all of these things here. What I have to do is I have to attach it. And I have to do that for all 4 of these. I just have to attach them together and make sure that you grab everything that's on that spot. And when you then attach them and you go to make it, now you can cut them. And when you, it doesn't matter that these circles are there. They're going to obviously cut the circles that we even sliced out. But as long as they're attached, this is now going to cut this piece like this. Let me zoom in. This is going to cut this like this. And then the joy and all this stuff is going to fall out because it's part of the cut. So you just want to make sure you do that. So when you cut everything out for your tags, when you cut it, that is now going to cut that perfectly for your tag. So you just want to make sure that you do that before you try to cut anything. So we're going to show you one of these cut. Okay, so obviously our canvas has changed since last time. So what we're actually doing, we're not using any of the regular tags. We just kind of wanted to show you what they looked like when we sliced them and everything. And we actually aren't cutting a paper for the snowflake. But we are cutting for the tree, the joy, the holly. So what I did here was, yes, this is a regular tag. Oops, I actually have to redo that because I forgot to put the circle in. So delete. So what I did was I copied and pasted that. And then I want to cut this one in our evergreen. So I did that. And then what I do here is I'm actually just going to delete the tree off of it. I just came over here, clicked the tree, deleted it. And so now I have that tag base for the background and it's the same exact size. So that's what I want to do. So we're just going to be cutting these 5 tags. This is going to be an evergreen, our evergreen cardstock. This is going to be white daisy. The joy is actually going to be, I have to do that too. I have to copy paste down here. I'm going to make that like a yellowy color because we're actually going to introduce, for these two, we have silver and gold foil paper. So we're going to introduce that with those. And on this over here, we're actually going to be using our wood grain paper. So we're going to make this. I'm going to show you a few more tips and tricks as we're going along because we do have to mirror image some of them, but here we go. To make it, and as you can see here, I have the joy. This one is in silver, which is going to be the forward facing, so that's perfect. white daisy with that tree. That's perfect. These, I'm not even going to cut this sheet. Then I have this one with the holly on the one side, and then I have the holly on this side. So with this, I made it light and dark just so I could be prepared for what I have to do, because one of these I have to mirror image because they are going to be cutting from the same paper, but I want it to be mirrored imaged. And if I'm being careful, I see that this comes up almost to the 3-inch mark. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just slide this over, and I'm going to reload my paper. Same paper, but they're now going to cut side by side. So if I go back to that other one, do you see how that's there? And then that's one there. It's going to be perfect. They're going to cut on the same paper. This joy is on the gold, and this one we also have to mirror image because it's going to be the back of my tag. So I have to make sure that that's mirrored. And then the evergreen is just fine as it is. So we're going to cut, and then we are going to come back. All right, so our first project up is going to be the joy tag, and I'm going to do this one. So with this one, we actually are going to be introducing our new, as of September, which we haven't used yet, silver foil paper. So this is just one of them. These are our silver stars. You see, there you go. Now you can see the foil. And this is one of our gold. So how these are going to line up is gold is going to be on the back, the joy, and the joy is going to be on the front here. And basically these are just going to get glued down like this. So I'm going to use liquid glass to do this. So I'm going to start with the back. I'm actually not going to use the one with the applicator on it just because I want to make sure I get those surfaces around. Oops, got some sticking out there. And I'm just going to go make it semi-thin. I don't want it to be too thick because I don't want it squeezing out, but I want to make sure I do get those edges because I want the paper to stay on my tag and not pull up from the edges either. So you really want to make sure you're good around your words. And we're going to just do this for both sides. All right, so once you have that down, and as you see, they fit so nicely on both sides. I did have a little mishap with my Cricut because if you are using any kind of glitter paper or something like that, make sure that you clean off your blades because they will be very glittery and then it might not cut perfectly. So we had that little bit of a mishap. But we actually got this idea from one of our friends, Katie, because she watched our sample of using our bitty beads inside. And what she did was she put the bitty beads inside and then put liquid glass all around, which was absolutely amazing. And it looked really, really cool when she did it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our silver and our gold embellishing thread that we played with last week for the Jingle Joy. So if you got that, or if you're joining us for our virtual day crop, you should have some of this stuff. And do you see how I'm just kind of like using my nail and just kind of fraying it here? That's exactly what I want to do. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and it's going to be a little bit of a mess, but I'm going to take it and I'm just going to cut it into basically confetti. So I'm going to cut these little tiny confetti strips of my embellishing thread. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Just taking these and I'm just cutting these little tiny pieces of silver. And then we're going to cut the gold after. But I'm basically just making confetti out of these little strips of paper and throwing them inside of the ornament here. I could probably make them smaller too. Let's see if I make it a little smaller, how those look. They are going to kind of fly away, so you kind of got to drag them back into where you want them to go. But this is an experiment. And I'm just going to fill this, and liquid glass dries clear. So as I continue to fill this and I fill this area, with liquid glass, it might take a few passovers just because liquid glass will dry a little bit thinner. And then if you, obviously, you can keep layering it. But if I do this, it'll have that embellishing thread then in it. It will be clear, and it will kind of make a glass area in here with silver or gold inside of it. So I'm using the gold in the ornament part, and then I'm going to use the silver inside of the J and the Y. So what I did was I did one pass through, and now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put a little bit more on this side. So it kind of grabs it. When I do the silver, I bet that it's going to jump into the gold. Or I could just let it dry completely and then, you know. But hey, it's silver and gold, right? Does it really matter? All right, so there you have it. So that's gonna now sit for a while because as you saw how much liquid glass I was putting in there, it has to sit for a while. So we are going to move this to the side and we are going to start with another tag, and we will show you this a little bit later.
Okay, so now we're going to do our holly tag.
Yay!
Yay. And
beautiful wood grain paper.
With that, yes, I love this wood grain paper. The wood grain paper pack is beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
And for our January weekend, the 8th through the 10th, our virtual weekend, we will be using the wood grain paper as our bases for our pages. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, got to check that out too. We're also going to be using our red and green beads, and we're going to be using a couple of pieces of acetate. We have an acetate sheet here that we had in our stock. You can use the acetate circles that come with our shaker windows. But since we had this on hand, we decided to use this. And April's just going to cut me some pieces as she's going to take the wood as a template. So what April did is cut 2 pieces 2 by 2. So if you have acetate sheets and you want to use them, you can use that. Or like we said, you could cut our circles or any of the other shapes that we have for our shaker windows into 2 by 2s. And this has a protective film on it also, like ours does. So to attach the acetate, we are actually going to use our micro glue dots. And I am just going to put some on here. Since we're using the beads and since there'll be paper over it, I'm not going to be concerned about the beads falling out. The beads are big enough not to fall out anyway. So
we'll show you how to use liquid glass a little bit later.
Yes. And I'm going to add a couple of glue dots to the tag itself, like right where the holly berries come together here.
The beads are pretty big, so they shouldn't pop out and get into the acetate, but you just want to make sure.
So I turned it over so I could add my beads to it now. So I'm going to be using a spoon now. I have an iced tea spoon that I've had in my kitchen drawer for a while, so it's finally getting used to do something. Oh, and I'm going to start with the green beads because they're going to go into the berries.
So she's not going to fill these too much.
I'm not going to fill them too much.
Just dump it out.
Right.
She did the opposite of what we were going to do.
Yes.
We're making a shaker window.
Yes. So we're just going to put a few beads in so they'll shake around a little bit.
You flew one over.
Oh, I did.
Don't get it in my other liquid glass over there.
No. We will try not to. these store very nicely in our
Craft
jars.
I love them. They're the best things ever.
So like I said
And
before,
our craft jars actually fit into our mini stamp organizers too. If you don't know what our mini stamp organizers are.
Mm-hmm.
It's this. It's mini.
The beads are, you can't put, you have to do just a couple of beads in the berries. Otherwise, they're not going to shake. Which is not going to be too bad anyway. I think I'm just going to fill the berries because they're not shaking very well when I look at them. So.
I just wanted to show them what it looks like when we have these.
Sure.
In our craft jar.
Mm-hmm.
Or our mini.
There you
stamp
go.
Organizer.
So I think that's enough beads. And now we're going to put our acetate on the back side.
That looks so cool.
So now we have a little shaker window here, and we're going to cover the acetate with our paper.
That looks so cool.
And we're going to use our liquid glass for this. Okay, so I'm going to be using the micro glue dots on the acetate so we make sure that the paper sticks. And I'm just going to use them here. Whoops, that did not come off.
So the acetate, for some reason, sometimes doesn't hold the liquid glass. We found that with our shaker windows. So glue dots always work better on the acetate or our page protectors. Yeah, it might hold better on acetate than the page protectors. But just to give it a little bit of extra, Mom is using the ultra thin and the micro glue dots just to hold it onto there. See, you gotta make sure it sticks. There you go.
There you go.
And then she's also gonna put a little bit of liquid glass to cover in these areas, but as long as you have a little bit of the no, don't put it down yet.
Oh no, I'm just saying this is the one I want. Okay. I wasn't gonna put it down.
It's like you have glue dots there. Because it'll just reinforce it with more glue dots and then also the liquid glass.
There you have it.
That looks so pretty. I love it. That looks really good.
And if you didn't want to make a shaker, you can obviously fill these with beads and just fill it with color.
Mm-hmm. All right, on to our third tag. So we've got the tree for this one. And what we're going to do first is I'm actually going to be putting the evergreen directly on the back of this tree like this. So once again, using our liquid glass. And as you can see, now the tree is green. So we've got that beautiful evergreen. I did it so the dark side is on the back of the tag. The light side is in the tree. You could do it the reverse way, but I just liked how that looked. And I'm actually going to use Mom's spoon instead of putting anti-static pouch on my hand. See if the spoon works. I'm going to take just a little bit like she did, but these are our star confetti. We have silver and gold. So I'm using the gold. And we got some really pretty ones in there. Go back in there. Come on, off the spoon. Thank you. So I've got my acetate here. And because it is confetti, it's gonna not want glue dots because it might jump out. And then we got stars all over the place. So I'm going to put some liquid glass. And I'm going to reinforce the outsides of the acetate with some mini glue dots. And then we are going to create our tag a little bit more. So we've got a shaker window again, which is really cool. See all those cute little stars. I'm going to set that off to the side. We're going to pull this in. And we're going to pull in actually one of our stamps. So I'm going to pull a Versamat up here, flip it over, and this is going to go right on there like that. But we're going to have some fun. So I've got this beautiful by the fireplace stamp here, and we're going to make a full scene on this beautiful tag. So we're going to do this. All right, so I've got my intense black ink here, my fireplace. I just practice stamped it there. And it is going to be off this tag just a little bit because it's not quite enough space for it. But isn't that really pretty? That is so beautiful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some extra white daisy here. And we're going to cut or stamp some presents and then 3 stockings. And now that I have that and my fireplace, I actually grabbed out some of our Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir markers, and we're going to color this fireplace a little bit. So we really want to just give it a really pretty look. All right, so you saw me coloring those, and now we're actually going to pop up our stockings before we put them on. And I'm going to actually add a little clock to my mantle as well. And now before I add the presents on, I'm going to actually glue this to the base. So like Mom did before, because I don't have to worry about the stars jumping away from me anymore, I am going to just put some small glue dots onto the acetate and then liquid glass the rest. And I've got a few presents here that I'm just going to use some mini glue dots for. And there you go. You have another cute little tag like this. And if I really want to be ambitious, which I'm feeling ambitious right now.
Uh-oh.
We're putting that star on top of that tree.
This I would use my piercing tool for.
Come on. Go right there. There we go. Ta-da! Got a little star. And I could probably even like put little like stickle dots. Oh, that might be look really cute.
Cute. Love it.
And just by playing with a few stickles, look how amazing that tag looks. And then you've got your to and from right there. And got a shaker!
Yay!
So we are going to do one more tag with you, and I'm going to hand it over to Mom. We also just wanted to point out, if you do something as intricate as this and take the time, this can also be a Christmas ornament or something like that. And I also just wanted to show you the colors I used for that really quickly. Just in case you want to recreate it, these are the colors that I used to create that. Okay, now off to Mom.
So for our next tag, which is our snowflake tag, we're going to be using the dots from Stencil Pack 3.
They're the, I don't know, ascending, descending dots? I don't know.
Yeah.
They grow.
Big and then small, or small and then big. So we have our palette knives, our ocean gloss spray, our transparent gloss texture paste, and our Stickles asteroid glitter gel.
So the this one, the
Transparent gloss.
Thank you. You can only get in the 3-pack.
Yes. So this would come in this size along with
The opaque matte.
the opaque matte and our transparent matte. And for this project, you could use all those different the other two the way I'm going to mix them, but I like the way this comes out. I was experimenting and I made this tag.
It's so pretty.
And this is just one of the plain wood tags.
It's just so pretty. That is with stencil pack number 1.
Yes, with the flower
Yes.
from stencil pack number 1. And I like the way this came out, so we decided to do the same mixture and do it with these stencils to try to make it look like falling snow. So I'm going to use these 2. And I'm going to mix, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put these off to the side. I'm going to take the transparent gloss and I'm going to, the thing stuck to it.
You always want to keep those. Don't throw those out.
Yeah, I always put it back on top. So I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to put it on my mat, my all-purpose mat here. And I'm going to close that up because you don't want it to dry out. I'm going to take the Asteroid Stickle Gel. I had to write the name on it because I can't read it. It's too dark on here.
Funny.
And I'm using a separate knife just because I don't want to contaminate the gel. That came out a little. And this is very goppy.
Goppy?
Well, I don't know what you call it. It's like goopy.
That's what a normal person says, not goppy.
It's, well, goopy goppy.
You a guppy now?
And I'm going to close that up too. And then I'm going to take the ocean gloss spray. And these gloss sprays need to be shaken.
Not stirred.
Not stirred. And you do want to protect your surfaces when you actually use this as a spray because it is permanent when it dries. And I'm
if you spray it too hard, it will like fly like that.
Yes.
And protect yourself.
Yes. Protect yourself with an apron or just wear crummy clothes if you're going to be playing with this mixed media. Just shake it up. And you can see that it's mixed pretty well because the white is gone. And you'll have to shake it every time you use it. And I'm going to actually open this up. And I'm just going to put a couple of dots here. So I'm going to grab it in and mix it all together. So you can experiment with any of the colors and any of the gels and actually the texture pastes also. And
so cool.
Just mix it to where you want it to get it.
Because it's a gel, not a stickle, that's the reason why it's gel-like.
Yes.
Stickles are
goopy.
Stickles are a lot more watery than this. So, and also, like Mom is doing, she's kind of figuring out how she wants it.
Yes.
What if you did it on a diagonal to make it look like
A
snowfall?
diagonal like that?
Yeah, just make sure you get that top corner.
Which top corner are we talking about?
Like that. You know, it's more like snowfall, right?
Okay, perfect.
Kind of like all over the place.
All right.
Blizzardy.
So normally I would take some washi tape and tape this down so it doesn't move, but I'm just going to hold it with my fingers. And when you do this, you want to take your palette knife and go in one direction. You don't want to keep going in all different directions because it may slip under the
My nails
the stencil.
go with this.
I know. They're so pretty. And
like my mom said, the spray does stain more. So if you get this on your fingers, you might have colorful fingers for a few days.
And I'm just scraping the extra off. And whoops, I got some on my...
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Ew.
And look how pretty. And when it dries, it's going to be all that glittery
And
goodness.
when it dries too, you could always redo it. Like depending on how much texture paste versus how much spray you put in it, it's going to be darker and lighter. You could also do it another layer with maybe just the texture paste to give it another white look or anything like that to kind of make it look blizzardy.
And I am just going to pull out. Whoops. Oh, that's a dot. That's why. Oh no.
Put the dot somewhere else.
I just wanted to clear out the snowflake a little bit so you could.
That looks so cool.
But yes, it does look cool. And I actually made a little bit too much, and I'm hoping that we can put this on something else. But
So I was about to give you.
when you're finished with this, you do want to clean it off. So I always have handy my spritzer, and I'm just gonna wet this up a little bit so it doesn't dry on me. And just whoops, wipe it down. I usually take it to the sink.
That's what I'll do.
Okay. Wipe that down, and we have this beautiful, oh, I love this one too. I'm just gonna, like I said, be careful. Pick that up, and look how pretty that is. And I'm just gonna wipe the sides. You obviously can use something else to wipe the sides with besides your fingers. But, so there we have it using our stencils and our tags. So those are our two different tags. Now, if you wanted to experiment and use, you can make yourself samples of the stencils themselves so that you would know what each stencil looks like, because we do have 9 new stencils, and you have the dots and this design and the other design that we showed you before. And we like I said, we have a lot of different designs, so I can show some to you. There's a starburst, which obviously would not work with the tags, but these all would work with the tags because they have circles and chevrons and all geometric designs. But this is the flower one. We also have one that has hearts. And Stencil Pack 2 has a variety of, there's this one. This is more for a larger layout, but that's cool. We have a honeycomb design here, and we have this chevron-like design, which is also very cool. So you could use stencils in a variety of different ways, but I love the way they look on our tags. So we hope we gave you some ideas, and just have fun with it. So this is what the tag looks like when it's dry. We did notice that the liquid glass did leak through, if you could see that, onto the back. So you may want to, our suggestion is that you don't put the paper on first, that you do the liquid glass and then put the paper on top. I also thought that if you do have a piece of acetate that you wanted to use, you could go and put some liquid glass all the way around the letters and all the detail and put it on, sit it aside to dry, turn it over, and then fill it with liquid glass. It may be easier to do it that way. And then, of course, after everything is dry, you can then put your paper on the back. But I think it came out really cute, because I don't know whether you could see it. I think you can see the flecks in here. It comes out really, really cute, and it's clear. You could see my hand behind it. So I think our experiment worked. So we just wanted to tell you, we used the dots on our snowflake, but you could have used any one of these stencils to design over your snowflake too.
Yep, so like this one really, really does look like a snowflake design too. So if you overlaid this with the snowflake, you would just have to be super careful about this cutout. So just like Mom was showing you, you do really want to use some washi tape on those, but imagine
this on that. It would be awesome. And like we said, now that this is also dry, you can always go over it with some more dots, maybe with some texture paste or some opaque matte paste. Give it a little bit more. Add some stickle dots into that. You could totally spruce that up even more, right?
Yeah.
So.
And they're fun to make.
Yes, they are. Yay! And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you liked any of our tags, all of our tags, our beautiful tags here. Let me see this one. A little bit more up and close and personal. Isn't that so fun? The acetate just makes it so cool. We had a lot of fun designing these, and now they get to be added to presents, or they can be ornaments on a tree, anything like that. But they are definitely something that you're going to want to keep around forever, and they can replace these paper tags that come on bags. So you then have a tag forever. So we hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions about anything, please let us know. Next week, we will be working with either, both of them actually. We're going to be working with some flip flaps, our 5x7s. Yeah. And we're also going to be working with our Jingle Joy card making and scrapbooking thin cuts and stamps. So you're not going to want to miss that. And then this week after that, we're going to be working with our ornaments. So if you need to order any of this stuff to play with us, order your ornaments to play with us. And then the next week, we will be doing the perpetual calendar. So we have an amazing lineup for you guys for holiday holiday projects, everything like that. So next week is a layout, and we hope you enjoy it. So anything else?
Nope. Let's get wrapping.
All right, we're gonna go wrap our presents, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye. Just flip it and see if it's better on the other side.
Okay.
No, not like that. So I've got this beautiful by the fireplace. I have my intense black. Got my flyer. Why do I keep saying fireplace? All right, so now that I have this stamped, I grabbed. All right, now that
let's get wrapping.
Okay, here we go. So, oops. Say that again.